I'm mind blown away right now. Mind blown. After my last video, speaking of the Connecticut fire circus, it dawned on me that the girl that I mentioned in there was murdered by her father that brought her to the circus. Now what I remember, that I guess he threw her off the pier and she drowned or something. That's what I kind of remember. And I'm thinking, whoa. It just caught my mind, right? Because I forgot to mention that in the other video. So, the amusement park, excuse me. It was a Connecticut amusement park. It wasn't a circus, it was an amusement park on the coast of Connecticut. And I looked up the wrong one, actually. So I was thinking it was a circus, but it wasn't. But that is not why I'm blown away. I am blown away for what I found when I... hey, what the hell is that doing up there? What I found when I pressed in, which I'll show you in a moment. Man brings daughter to circus in Connecticut and kills her. And I forgot it was a friggin' amusement park. Because I was looking through this, and like I say, I forgot it was an amusement park. That just came to my mind. Well, I do remember the story, and like I said, I wonder if that is what inspired it, but it was someone, or a clown, maybe John Wayne Gacy. But then again, I watched the thing about Stephen King a few nights ago and how he came up with it, and it didn't have to do with no serial killer or a clown killer, but you never know. God damn it, I keep hitting the wrong one. Cut that out. But lo and behold, before I even go to it, as you can see, I'm going to scroll down, and there is literally a man or two men that were investigated. One of them supposedly was a 13-year-old kid, but it comes out in the story, says it was 15. And if you check out this article here, accident or arson? That's the question. Now, in my last video, I did talk about quacks, psychopaths, whatever. Someone that, like the guy who brought his girl to the amusement park and, kills her. Back in them days, right, people weren't treated like today. So if you had a psychiatrical, behaviors, you needed to get yourself, these days, a psychiatrical evaluation. They didn't have that back then. So you couldn't wheeze out the sickos and so forth. The psychopaths, the schizophrenia, all these quacks that roamed the street back then, get amused and have a passion for and a desire to kill or start fires. But I also mentioned Native American sacred land. in my last video on the Connecticut circus fire. And I'm getting chills up my spine. I never seen this article. Never. Believe it or not, I don't care what you say. I just pulled this up today. Today. Never ever knew they had a suspect. And this guy claims that he was at a movie in 1944, but it goes on in this article to say the movie the man mentioned, he could have got confused, forgot the name or whatnot, but the movie didn't come out until 1939. And it wasn't playing in theaters in 1944. That would make some sense there, wouldn't it? And I need to look up and see what the basis of that movie is and why it would get stuck in this man's head. But that's not... oh man, why I'm doing this. Native American. This guy claims he was a shaman. That he's been having dreams of the red men. That's right, the red men. Back in the day, white man used to call Indians the red men because of their color of their skin. And they also used to call them Indians, which India and Indians is what Indians get names. Because the white man, of course, thought they were related to, coming from over there, from Egypt and India and all them places, and that colored skinned of India people, they thought they were related, but they're not. But most common name they called them was the red men. And this goddamn son of a bitch said the red men came to him in his dream and told him he needed to start burning. You heard me? Start the fires. Now, call me crazy, but I had a dream not too long ago of Indians accepting me into something. And I was honored to be there, because dreams are just another entrance to the spirit world. Don't get me wrong, dreams could be fake too, but when they're surreal and you're talking to people in your dreams, them are the spirits. That's the spirit world. And I'm very strongly on this because I've had dreams of spirits coming to me. And I believe this man 100%. And that's what got my friggin' mind right now baffled, that I just said this before I even read the article. And here it is in black and white. And I saved this article, of course, but I just wanted to pull it up to show you what I looked up to get this article. 75 years later, the guy was 80 years old when they interviewed him. And let me get to the part. Sorry, I am driving because I got a busy day ahead, and I'm at a lake now, but safely. Here's the man right here. And I will pull it up to let people read what he said in his own words. The Four Feathers was the movie. I just want to get that right here. Thought they couldn't find any links of direct Native American heritage in this personal history. Identified as Indian and said he was a shaman prone to visions. During the interview, he wore his hair in braids. He was happy, even eager to talk with them. But much of what he said didn't make sense. He talked of feeling close to death and seeing omens of his demise. He talked of spirit guides and vision of past, future, other realities. He talked of not being paid by the circus and of being afraid of the men he worked with, rebustrous like himself, who knew only, it goes on. So, before I even said a damn word about this, and I said this in my last video, check it out. They could have been on sacred Native American land. Connecticut is a huge Indian dwelling throughout that whole state. And when Indians would put curse, things happen. So I'm going with this, people. This man had visions and dreams, is right. And if he lived in Connecticut and around that area of that time, or any place, I'm for damn sure that we had a strong spirit world. So, once again, like I said, the hairs on the back of my neck standing up with this. I come out and say something and bang, an article comes up out of nowhere. It's just like I had this feeling to go to the cemetery, Edson Cemetery in Lowell. It wasn't just to go see Jack Kerouac, one of the famous writers of all time. I have proof. On March 16th of this year, I had found an article of that Indian statue, talking of that Indian, and I forgot all about it, and it must have pulled me there, and I'm going to do a video on that next to show the date of when I looked it up. Something pulled me there, and I think that's what it was. I think the Indian spirit world pulled me to this circus to tell its tale. You need to stay off sacred Indian land or bad things happen. Right here in proof. This man did it for the Indians. I mean, they go on to say that they still think it's a mystery, don't make sense, but it all comes together. The Redman spoke. He did the unthinkable. Very unfortunate. I gave my moment of silence to the people of the lost, but that's what it was back in the day. And them Indian spirits are strong. And this right here backs me up. Never heard this story in my life. And this interview happened in 1993, and this guy had passed away after that or something. But this is enough for me. This is what brings forth the reason why you should never disturb or disrespect Native Americans' sacred land. Proof is what I'm here for. Until that next video, be safe, take care, believe. I still got chills running down my spine on this. Insane. Out.